Good Thursday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. Of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. Have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you guys will be part of my conversation with host Samantha Harris, discussing being the host of Tug of Words on Game Show Network. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines. In national news, white supremacist gets life in prison for Buffalo Massacre. A white supremacist who killed 10 black people at a Buffalo supermarket was sentenced to life in prison without parole on Wednesday after relatives of his victims confronted him with pain and rage caused by his racist attack. Anger briefly turned physical at the sentencing for the individual, who Conversations Daily News is not naming, when a victim's family member rushed at him from the audience. The man was quickly restrained. Prosecutors later said he wouldn't be charged. The proceeding then resumed with an emotional outpouring from people who lost loved ones or were themselves wounded in the attack. The assailant, whose hatred was fueled by racist conspiracy theories he encountered online, cried during some of the testimony and apologized to victims and their families in a brief statement. Their remarks ranged from sorrow to outrage, shouts to tears. Some condemned him, others quoted from the Bible or said they were praying for him. Several pointed out that he deliberately attacked a black community a 3-hour drive from his home. The individual pled guilty in November of last year to crimes including murder and domestic terrorism motivated by hate, a charge that carried an automatic life sentence. Is due in federal court today for a status update in a separate case that could carry a death sentence if prosecutors seek it. His attorney said in December that the individual is prepared to plead guilty in federal court to avoid execution. New York State does not have the death penalty. In entertainment news, Hollywood legend Raquel dies at 82. Raquel, whose emergence from the sea in a skimpy furry bikini in the film 1 Million Years BC will propel her to an amazing career through the 1960s and 70s, has died. Welch died early Wednesday after a brief illness, according to her agent. Welch's breakthrough came in 1966 prehistoric flick 1 Million BC, despite having a grand total of 3 lines. Her curves and beauty captured pop culture attention, while Playboy crowning her the most desired woman of the 1970s, despite never being completely naked in the magazine. In 2013, she graced the number 2 spot on Men's Health's Hottest Women of All Time list. In the film The Shawshank Redemption, a poster of Welch covers an escape tunnel, the last of 3 that character Andy Dufresne used after Rita Hayworth and Marilyn Monroe. Admirers took to Twitter to mourn the star, including TV host Rosie O'Donnell, actor Chris Maloney, and writer-director Paul Feig, who worked with Welch on Sabrina the Teenage Witch and called her kind, funny, and a true superstar whom I was pretty much in love with for most of my childhood. We've lost a true icon, he said. In addition to acting, Welch was a singer and dancer. She surprised many critics and won positive reviews when she starred in the 1981 musical Woman of the Year on Broadway. She returned to the Great White Way in 1977 in Victor, Victoria. In international news, the earthquake that killed more than 39,000 people in southern Turkey and northern Syria produced more grieving and suffering, along with extraordinary rescues and appeals for aid. Defying odds after 9 days, a woman and her 2 children, a boy and a girl, were taken from a collapsed apartment building in Turkey a full 228 hours after the first 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck in the early hours of February the 6th. All 3 were taken to the hospital. The rescues were exceptions to the grim work of locating the bodies of the remaining dead. The first earthquake and a 7.5 magnitude quake 9 hours later destroyed thousands of buildings. Survivors and building experts have said shoddy construction contributed to the massive death toll. And finally, in business news, stocks tick higher as hopes on economy joist rate fears. Stocks tick higher on Wall Street Wednesday as hopes for a resilient economy jousted with worries about inflation, following a much stronger reading than expected on U.S. retail sales. The S&P 500 rose 0.3% after swinging from early losses to gains through the day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average edged up 38 points, or 0.1%, while the Nasdaq Composite rose a more forceful 0.9%. All told, the S&P 500 gained 11 points to close at 4,418. The Dow rose 39 points to 34,128, and the Nasdaq climbed 110 points to 12,071. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Thursday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Making a difference isn't confined to any particular day. It's for any day that you have breath in your body. Recognize the importance of bringing your personal best to everything you do, and no one will be able to doubt the riches you have to share. Have an amazing Thursday. We are part of my conversation coming up with Samantha Harris in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Emmy Award-winning TV host Samantha Harris joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about hosting Tug of Words on Game Show Network, as well as using her platform for good. Here's a bit of our conversation. Samantha, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Oh, gosh, really happy to be here with you.
Well, the pleasure's definitely all mine. We have to talk about Tug of Words for sure, because, I'm a big fan of the Game Show Network, as many people are. And, of course, people are excited about, the different teams on Tug of Words and, who's going to be able to get the flag. What has it been like for you to see the excitement for this show and the way that it really has brought people into learning, too?
Well, boy, I tell you, with over 300 words per episode, I've learned a lot of vocabulary, and I was a journalism major, so I think, okay, this is great. I love it. But it's more the fun and the action and the activity of, a show where if you like Wordle or you like crossword puzzles and you like fast word play to really brain tease, this is definitely a show for you, because what Tug of Words does is we start with a 3-letter word. I give you a clue. You change one letter in that existing word to create a new word. That gets you the answer. And we build on that to give you then another clue and so on. So for an example, let's say the word is tug and my clue is the label that hangs in your clothing. You change the U in tug to an A, and now it becomes tag. You say tag, and that's your new word. And now we go to the next, the black sludge on the road. Okay, now you change tag to tar, and to keep going.
Yeah.
Then eventually we're at 4-letter, 5-letter, and ultimately 6-letter words, changing 2 letters at a time. And it's fast, it's fun, and I just have a blast with the contestants, which are 2 teams of 2.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. Prepare to go on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.